Hey guys, this is Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching Out on DVD, the show where I most of the time review movies that are recently released on DVD. This time it's going to be a little old, it's like a mid-90s movie. Special thanks to Nintendo 70 for the request to review the Super Mario Brothers live-action movie. And yeah, this movie came out mid-90s, late 90s, and it's kind of like the first more modern day movie to start the whole video game movie trend. Soon afterwards, they had the Street Fighter live action movie, the Mortal Kombat live action movie, the Double Dragon live action movie, and so forth, so forth, so forth. All the movies that we've seen to this date. I guess if you want to get really technical and everything, I do believe there was a Tron movie made even way further back. So I think probably that is the first official movie based on the video game. But many people might not remember that, and they might consider the Mario Brothers movie to be the first. So yeah, let's get into Super Mario Brothers, the live-action movie. First, let's get into the story. Now, this is kind of weird here. In this movie, we have this theory about alternate dimensions, and the main thing is that just like how I guess in our world we all evolved from the apes and everything, there's an alternate dimension where humans evolved from dinosaurs and everything. So basically, I guess when the meteor hit the dinosaurs way back in, prehistoric times and wiped out the dinosaurs, it created the two worlds. One that would be inhabited by, I guess you can say, primate-based humans, and another one that's inhabited by reptile style humans. And, well, basically speaking, we got Princess Daisy, who is actually from the Mushroom Kingdom, which is that, reptile human-based world, and she was left in our world as a baby, like an abandoned baby. She has a little piece of meteorite, the original meteorite, a piece of the stone called the rock, and the evil King Koopa wants the rock, because once he has it, he can fuse both our world and their world, because basically their world's kind of gone to hell and everything, and he wants to take over a lush, more lively new world. And of course, Super Mario Brothers somehow get involved. They gotta rescue the princess. They gotta go into this whole new world. They gotta, save the world and stop King Koopa from destroying basically all reality when you really think about it. Yeah, just like the games. Now let's get into the characters. Well, the main characters are, of course, Mario and Luigi, the Mario Brothers, and yeah, they're plumbers. They're in New York City. They're in Brooklyn. This was back in the day when the Mario Brothers were from Brooklyn, they're from New York and whatever, and they get, sent to the Mushroom Kingdom accidentally. Back then, all the cartoons and stuff, and of course, this movie follows that storyline. Nowadays, they kind of want to make it like Mario is from the Mushroom Kingdom, even though he's still Italian. They're like, hey, it's me, Mario, I'm Italian, I'm still from the Mushroom Kingdom, because we have a Mushroom Kingdom version of Italy, I don't know how that works. Nintendo, you explain that. But either ways, in the movie, they're plumbers, of course. They run into the princess, and you learn about this whole alternate dimension thing. Mario's like the more older, wiser one. I guess like when his wife passed, he became in charge of raising Luigi, kind of like a slash father slash son, whatever you want to say. And yeah, so he's more realistic about it. He's more doubtful about the kingdom, the Mushroom Kingdom, all the weird stuff in the world. It takes a while for him to grasp that he's in this weird world now. He just, I don't know, he thinks he's probably some other part of New York, but it's like weird. And Luigi, well, he's more open to it. He's more like he likes to watch these shows about alternate dimensions and conspiracy and aliens and things that can't be explained. So he's more open to it. And of course, he also falls in love with Princess Daisy. So he's more willing to do whatever to save her, even if what's going on doesn't really make sense with this alternate world. And of course, you got Princess Daisy, which is surprising that it's Princess Daisy and not like Princess Peach or / Princess Toadstool. This is Daisy in this version, that she comes from like the Super Mario Land games instead of the main series. And so yeah, she's an archaeologist here. She has no idea about her past. I mean, she doesn't know she's a, I guess, reptile-based human. I mean, she was even born in an egg. Literally speaking, she was born in an egg. And yeah, so I guess the archaeology thing is kind of like it kind of gives her that sense of interest in dinosaurs and fossils without her knowing that she's actually related to that. So that's kind of interesting. And of course, she carries the rock. It was a gift from her mother. It's like the only thing that she knows. So she's been guarding that her whole life and everything. And of course, that makes her the victim of being captured. And of course, the main villain is King Koopa, played by Dennis Hopper. And yes, he's just like a human guy with spiky hair. He's not the weird dinosaur dragon turtle shell thing from the games. He's like a regular human, and he's called King Koopa because back in the cartoons and stuff, he was referred to as King Koopa, not so much Bowser. And yeah, he wants to rule the world. He's grossed out because his world's getting all gross and dirty and filthy. He wants to go to this new, fresh new kingdom. He's basically like, why are these monkeys living in this world that's all clean and nice, and we're living in this disgusting world? Let's take over and everything. So that's his main goal, is to get the rock and future dimensions. And he has this kind of electric chair thing that's a de-evolutionary chair that basically devolves you into mindless Goombas. They look like weird reptile soldier things that don't look anything like they do in the game. That's very weird. And then another thing is he has his two cousins, Iggy and Spike, which are basically his henchmen, and they're basically the typical bumbling idiots. They're kidnapping all kinds of random women because they keep getting like the wrong girl, so they finally get the real princess. And Koopa gets fed up and puts them into the evolutionary chair because they could, evolve and devolve to make them smarter. And the funny thing is that now they're talking all like scientific, like with bigger words in college, scientific terms or whatever. But they're still bumbling idiots anyway, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, those are basically the main characters that we see in this movie. What are my thoughts on the movie? Wow, that's a really good question. I really think that this movie, it's more of a nostalgia thing, because it was one of the last movies that I got to see with Johnny and my mom and dad, like a family outing. Yeah, I knew from the trailers and the commercials, because you still see them flying around in rocket boots in the weird city. You still see Dennis Hopper. You still see that Luigi looks younger without his mustache. So you kind of know it's going to be a screwed up piece of crap. Like, it's nothing like the Mario Brothers game. But, we just went there to have a good time and everything. So like I said, most of it's a real, like a nostalgia trip. Kind of going back to the 90s, I guess, to remember it. But it's not something I would buy. It's not something I really want to own. I mean, we rented it just for the sake of seeing it, just to see it one more time. Because I really have not seen it again since the original airing in the theater. Maybe once if it was on TV, but I don't remember really seeing it more than just that one time in the theater back in the 90s. So it kind of refreshed my memory a bit watching it, renting it again. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess I like some of the goofy charm of it, I guess. The memories. I like some of the little jokes here and there. I like how the movie reinforces that Mario's name really is Mario, and that Luigi's Luigi Mario, which explains why the game is called Super Mario Brothers, But, yeah, I remember there was a magazine one time in GamePro, I think they were asking that. They were asking, why is the game called Super Mario Brothers? Because it's like, dude, the guy's named Mario, but that's not his last name. And the answer was that, yes, according to Nintendo, his name is Mario, and this movie confirmed it, I guess. And yeah, it's a weird movie. I guess I might like it due to the goofy charm of it, and just, I guess, laughing at how bad it is and how much things are screwed up and everything. But I can't really say it's a favorite. I can't really say I'm gonna buy it. It's just there. I can't really hate it completely, but I can't really say I like it. Like, wow, I can't really enjoy it that much. I'll just say I'm in on the bottom scale of between like and hate, like a bit above hate, but not so much like I love it. I guess I kind of like it just for its goofy charm. But like I said, I would not buy this movie. So how does this compare to the games the movie was based on? There's a little extra section I make now for these movies that are based on a certain book or a certain video game with changes and things, comparing like the Percy Jackson movie, how does it compare to the books, and the Tekken movie, how does it compare to the Tekken games themselves. So this is basically compared to the game. And I just want to say before I get started on this, this is just so weird, okay? The weirdest things I've heard is back in the day when they were making the Street Fighter movie, because the Mario movie was not a real big success. I'm not sure if it flat out bombed, but I know it wasn't a big success. So De Souza was this director for the upcoming, at the time, Street Fighter movie, and I remember he did interviews on either EGM or GamePro or maybe both, and some of his quotes were saying that we're going to make our movie even better, we're not going to make the mistakes they did in the Mario game, the Mario movie. Their biggest mistake was making it too faithful to the games, and we're not going to do that, we're going to make our own story. What? And then Shigeru Miyamoto himself, the guy who basically runs Nintendo, the guy who created Mario and of course Zelda and all them, He also said that one of the movie's biggest flaws is because it's just too much like the games. What? That doesn't... I don't know. This movie is completely nothing like the games. Everything is changed up. I mean, everything. I mean, the mystical world of the Mushroom Kingdom, that looks like an acid trip, I guess, in real life, is basically like this corrupt version of downtown Manhattan or something. And, I mean, nothing is nothing. No floating blocks or... Koopa himself is a guy. He's not like a... He's not, he's not a dinosaur thing with a turtle shell. He's a guy. I mean, nothing is like the game. There's nothing, I mean, if you see any scene of the movie before they put on their costumes, because at the end of the movie they do put on the infamous, red plumber clothes, green plumber clothes, but if you see any of the scenes before, just like offhand, you would not know this is a Mario Brothers movie. I mean, if I just show you a random picture out of context of Princess Daisy, you would not know she's based on Princess Daisy from the movie or something. And if you've never heard of the movie at all, I just show you Dennis Hopper with the spiky little hair thing, you would not know he's based on Bowser. I mean, unless you've seen the movie before, but if you haven't seen it ever or you ever heard of it, I show you a picture, you would think like, whoa, dude, what movie is this? There's nothing related to the games. The only thing in the whole movie that is related to the games is, like I said before, Mario and Luigi actually do wear the green and red, plumber overalls with the hats and everything. And, well, Mario and Luigi are still plumbers, they're still from Brooklyn and everything. The Bob-ombs, there was a Bob-omb in the movie, and basically, that's exactly from the game. That's ripped right out of the game. Little bomb there, wind it up, because like in Mario Brothers 3, you got little wind-up things that just kind of walk around, and that looked exactly like the game, so that was pretty good. But everything else is just, Yoshi was in the movie, he was like a real dinosaur, he couldn't talk or anything. It was just, I don't know, it's weird. I mean, I don't know how you could have made a cartoony Yoshi work without it looking fake and cartoony, but I necessarily don't want to see a realistic dinosaur Yoshi either, so I don't know, maybe he should have not been in the movie or something, I don't know. And of course there's no, like, mushrooms, no fire flowers. I guess they kind of do things. They have guns that shoot fireballs, so I guess there's your fire flower. They got these weird rocket boots that make them jump super high, and they have little video game sound effects when they power up, so I guess that's the equivalent of jumping high and making boingy sounds, like this also said. But, I mean, there's almost nothing similar to the game. So I really don't know where these people are coming from, and the biggest flaw is that it's too much like the game. Because no, it's not. And I'm just more confused that Shigeru Miyamoto himself said that too. So that's weird. So yeah, bottom line, almost nothing like the games. Just, wow, just have a real open mind when you watch this one. And finally, will you like the movie? Wow, that's a pretty hard question. I honestly can't... I definitely can't recommend it to you unless you find it for $1 or something, maybe. Bargain bin. Or if you're just extremely curious of this piece of video game history, because like I said, this is the movie that kind of started a bit of the fame of making video game based movies, whether good or bad. I mean, that's what kind of started out with the Mortal Kombat, the Double Dragon. We got a Resident Evil series, we got, oh god, Tekken and stuff like that. So I guess if you want that for like your collection just for history, but it's very hard to recommend the movie. It's just, well, I mean, when you really think about it, how can you make a live-action Mario movie without it looking completely stupid and goofy? I mean, I can imagine you could probably do it like a CGI cartoon, like one of those DreamWorks or Pixar pictures, but like a cartoon, And but like an actual live-action movie without it looking completely trippy and everything. Cause can you imagine like the giant blocks and the clouds with the eyeballs on them, and you're jumping on these blocks, and Mario can break the bricks, and coins pop out, and mushrooms, and you turn twice your size, and you have a raccoon tail you can fly. Can you imagine how weird and trippy as all hell that would look like in real life? And then like the Goombas, giant ass mushroom things walking at you. I mean, I honestly don't know how they could have done this in real life anyway. So I guess this is one of the ways they went through it. I mean, it's like, this is not the way to go, but then how do you go? Because I just don't know. That is just so weird. But anyways, yeah, it's very hard to recommend the movie. I mean, it's just bad in a cheesy way that may or may not be to your liking. I mean, if you want to just laugh it off at how bad it is, making fun of it. Like how the Street Fighter movie is so bad that people just rent it just to laugh at how bad it is and stuff like that, then go for it, I guess. And here's another thing. When they asked Bob Hoskins, the guy who played Mario, who was, of course, more commonly known for being the guy who played Eddie Valiant in the Roger Rabbit movies, and I forgot if they asked either what was like his worst role, or what was it was either what was the worst role you've ever played, or it was like what was like the role you were the most embarrassed of having played. And it was Mario in the Mario movie. He was really not happy to be Mario and to have that piece of history following him around and everything. And yeah, and I do believe he did pass away recently. So, you know, may both Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper rest in peace. But yeah, it's hard to recommend. Like I said, I mean, you've seen the review, what I've talked, and you've seen like the pictures and everything, the comparisons. You can decide for yourself. Another weird thing about the movie is that it also came out when Mario was already kind of dropping in popularity, you know. Super Mario World came out, but it wasn't like that big of a splash. I mean, it did show off the Super Nintendo, what it could do, but it wasn't that big of a splash. I do believe Sonic coming out with Sega with the graphics and the non-existent blast processing and whatever, I think it stole a lot of the thunder from Super Mario World. So, I mean, I would think that when Super Mario Bros. 3 came out, that's when Mario was really at its peak. If they made a movie at that time during the Mario Bros. 3 era, even if it sucked, it probably would have had tons more people going to it. It would have made a lot more money. So it's kind of weird making the game, like a movie, that late in the game when Mario was already kind of dropping in popularity. So that was probably a factor too. But yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts on the movie, and you guys drop your own thoughts, your own comments, your own opinions. Love it, hate it, why, all that stuff. Any other suggestions, any other recommendations? Of course, you know, if I am able to get a copy, rent it, see it online, I guess, or whatever, then yeah, I'll be glad to review whatever movies you guys recommend. Like I said, this is called Out on DVD, but I don't necessarily talk about the super new stuff. It could be old stuff too, you know. So yeah, so check it out, guys. This is Mark Rodriguez here for Out on DVD, and I'll be seeing you on DVD.